Hey, Alex.
What's up?
You know this episode's brought to you by Matthews Studio Equipment?
Really? Isn't that the technology that complements your imagination?
Yeah.
Sweet.
You're listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon. Hey, what's up, internets? This is Brandon.
And this is Alex.
And we're filmmakers.
And we're drinking coffee.
Yeah, we are drinking coffee. We do have plenty of bourbon in the cat. We re-upped, I think, a couple episodes ago.
I might.
The cabinet's full.
We started it off this way, but I might have Barter Frank bring me in a cup here in a second.
I might get a little bourbon.
Let's see.
Yeah, loosen it up in the morning. Little morning drinking.
What'd you bring? What'd you restock us with?
I bought Oyo Black.
Ooh.
And some other one I hadn't had before.
Ah.
So it was on
a couple.
Yeah, it was on the episode with Leap.
I know, the one I missed.
Agency. Yeah, it was
the
fun.
one I missed.
So there's been a lot going on.
I know.
And today people don't understand what's about to happen.
They never. I mean, I don't even really understand.
We're in the midst of a podcast marathon today. We're literally podcasting all day. We needed to get a lot of podcasts done in the hopper, and so
schedule conflicts.
Yeah, we're doing 20 podcasts right now.
At least 20.
At least 20.
Yeah, they're all a minute long.
Anyways, so yeah. This is episode 98, right?
It is.
Dude, we're getting so close to the 100th episode.
Which is crazy. Can you imagine?
Yeah. It's going to be nuts.
We've recorded almost 100.
And
why?
I don't know. It's crazy.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I have no clue. But hopefully we get to our goal of 100 reviews. I think we're there. We're on our way.
We're close. What are we at?
We
Frank?
might be there.
What are we at?
We don't even know.
Do you know reviews-wise what we're at?
Oh, it's on our trusty sheet that Frank came up with. Yeah, let's see here.
We need 10. Less than 10.
Less than 10.
That means we've got 90-something.
Less than 10, but that might be more than we're speaking of now because we're not going to be in the future. Or we're in the future.
But we might not be in the past.
Right, but we're in the future now.
But we're possibly in the current.
Anyway. So, cool things are happening. What else is going on? Any top-end announcements before we jump in? We got a cool guest on we're going to call in.
Yeah, well, in relation to our guest, so episode 97, the last one, giveaway by Matthews.
Yeah.
One thing doubled that everybody can use is a C-stand.
Yeah, who doesn't need another C-stand?
Yeah, so we've got a giveaway from Matthews that you need to enter. You need to share episode 97 and 98 with hashtag @MatthewsGrip.
Sure.
Or no, @MatthewsGrip, hashtag FDB giveaway.
Yeah.
@FDB Podcast.
Always connect with us at FDB Podcast.
Everywhere.
Always.
But yeah, share it, enter to win, 2 C-stands.
Yeah.
Invaluable.
It's like $350, it's great.
Invaluable for any filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But today's guest is great.
Yeah, who do we got on the show today?
Dave Donaldson from a little show called Grip Tips. Grip Tips. Speaking of grips.
Tips.
Grip Tips.
Tips.
Don't say that 5 times fast.
So, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's not wait any longer. People want to hear this.
Work your magic.
There's a lot of grips who need some tips. So let's make it happen. And we're going to dial it up. Bart, let's dial up the old phone machine.
Distortion.
You there?
Dave.
Hello?
Hey! It worked.
Hey, sorry.
Hey, what's going on?
Sometimes our phone, it gets into some situations. We're in Studio B. In Studio A, it's a little cleaner of a call, but Studio B, where we've been for years.
We rely on quantum
Studio
physics.
B?
This is crazy. So
Studio B for bourbon,
It runs on bourbon. The phone is powered by bourbon.
That's why it sounds like
it's a little liquidy.
So, Dave, what's up, man?
Yeah, man. So you've got the tips on the grips, right?
God, I really wish I would have thought of a different name. Yes, I do. Apparently,
flip us those tips.
Flip you some tips.
All right, so let's
on
set
these
this
grips.
up. Let's set this up for our callers.
Yes.
We've got Dave from Grip Tips. He's a media commodity. He's a powerhouse of content when it comes to grips and tips.
Not just content, knowledge, Brandon.
Right.
Knowledge.
So is that a good description? How about you give us your version? How did you get started with this whole thing?
You know, I was watching shows that I think most of everybody watches. It's, you know, it's like Dave Dugdale, Film Riot. You got Matt Workman over at Cinematography Database. I just been watching those shows, and one of the things that I think that I don't see quite a bit out there is like, okay, well, where's the Grip and Electric channel? You know, where do you learn that type of stuff? Because typically, you know, you watch these channels and it's like, you know, we're going to teach you how to do something in After Effects. We're going to teach you how to do something with camera. We're going to teach you how to do some sort of special effects or fake blood, makeup, whatever. But there's nothing that's really kind of diving really hardcore into the Grip and Electric. And I kind of feel, in my own opinion, like it's a little underappreciated in that sense. I mean, there's a couple of things out there, but there's, you know, besides what I've already done on the channel, there's way more. You know, you can walk into a Grip and Electric warehouse and just see how many tools there are, and it's like, well, what the hell is all of this stuff?
Yeah. Well, and I agree. Like, I think, you know, of all of the disciplines, Grip and Electric has the most confusing stuff. Like, people need to know what a baby plate is. You know, newbies have no clue. Half of this stuff sounds sadistic, or it sounds like some sort of a sex toy. You know, like a
sex toy. Yeah.
Like a big bin. That sounds like a sex toy. You know, what the heck is that?
Those are official terms.
And,
you start getting into the inner circle terms, and
that's what I'm saying. But I mean, a butterfly.
I'm still learning a lot of them.
Butterfly flame. What the hell is that?
Frame.
You know, this is crazy.
I'd love to know what a butterfly flame is, though.
Yeah. So anyway,
sounds something really great in West Hollywood. The butterfly flame.
So I get why you're wanting to do it. So talk a little bit about that. What's your approach to the content, to the show? Who are you trying to reach, and what's your format? You know.
I think that, like a lot of people, you know, you go to a set, and when you start looking around, you know, the number one thing that I think most people look at, they're like, oh, there's the camera, there's the lenses, there's the actors, etc. And then they're surrounded by all of this Grip and Electric stuff. And you'll look at it and it's like, wow, that's impressive. I don't want to touch that. So typically, you know, I think with my channel, I'm trying to teach people exactly what that is so they're not too intimidated. Like if they, you know, I mean, maybe they want to be in camera, but they just happen to be working in Grip and Electric, and they don't want to walk in feeling too green, and have kind of that confidence of the gear that they're about to use. So for me, is that kind of answering the question? Probably not answering the question.
So in your, in your format, do you open up the show and say, hey guys, today we're gonna dissect this clamp and how to use it, 6 ways to use this clamp, or is it not that direct? Is it a little more loose? Like, I guess what I'm looking for is describe for us an execution, like pick out an episode and tell us how it worked.
Oh man, there's no actual way that I actually kind of structure the show too much. It's like just kind of like, okay.
Sounds like
there you go. It should be Grip Tips with Bourbon, although that would probably get very sexual very, very quickly.
Yeah, OSHA would not like that either. Yeah.
Grips, Tips, and Tits.
Oh no! Oh no!
It would be a popular video blog. Or
oh god! Dark
I know some models, but I don't know if I could work that out.
Yeah. Well, right. I can. So okay, I'll bring up one.
Alex is like, "Oh, this show's going down the hill quick."
Let me bring this back to reality here. So one of the episodes I checked out prior to the show was about how to use a ratchet strap.
My most current one. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So is that kind of a traditional way that you approach the show? Like, hey, today we're going to use a ratchet strap, and here's how to do it right. Here's how to do it wrong.
I don't really say. I mean, yeah. I guess that's kind of what I do. It's just one of those. Like, I just want to teach people to some degree, like how you use this, so that. Well, here's the thing: with a lot of Grip and Electrics that I've talked to, they'll wait for that green guy to come out onto the show, and let's say they're doing something as dismal and like wrapping a stinger, which is very important. The over versus over under. A lot of the Grip and Electrics, they'll say, well, if I see, you know, another guy wrapping a stinger over under, well, I just won't invite him back. I won't say anything, but I just won't invite him back. What? And I'm like, well, why has it got to be like that? Why can't you just take the minute to teach the dude the right way? So I'm hoping that my channel kind of does that a little bit. And
So over under's not the way?
That's for video cables.
No.
Oh man.
That's over under, I guess, is for BNC and DMX and XLR type cables.
Yeah.
But for stingers, I
don't do it for
that
power.
episode. Yeah, you don't do it for anything power cable wise, and I think that's because for power cables, it's because it's all threaded, kind of the same way like a steel wire is that you would use for like safety chain. Where XLRs, DMX cables, it's and I've never cracked one open before, but I guess it's just like a one thread for the connection or something. I don't know. I've never really.
Yeah.
I'm not an audio guy.
Yeah.
This is good to know. This is good to know.
I've got some questions. Why did you decide to start this show? And like, what's your background that brought you into that realm, grip and electric, and why did you decide to pass on knowledge?
So about 4 or 5 years ago, I've been in the industry since like 2004, but about 4 or 5 years ago is when I really started, getting involved with the grip and electric guys. I've tried to be a production assistant and go into the whole production department, but I was starting to realize I wasn't really kind of liking it. And especially here in the Midwest, it's like typically the gigs are always PA. But then there was like grip and electric where I was like, yeah, I'm happier doing something that I feel is not just setting up crafty and getting coffee and whatever. Obviously, everybody feels that way, but for me, it was just kind of like, okay, well, grip and electric to me has always been really kind of impressive. And I used to work at a machine shop, and with that, I learned what different types of metals are. I feel like I'm trailing off here. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
I learned how different. At the time, it was a crane company, and I saw how they were putting things together. And then I also had a buddy who was a rigging grip. He kind of taught me a couple of things too. And so I started taking a little bit more of an interest in that. And then I find myself going over to our local grip and electric house and just finding out what all these different tools are, which they kind of helped me with the show today. I don't know if that's an important factor or not, but
that's cool.
And actually, you guys you're Cincinnati, or where are you guys based out of?
Yeah, we're in Cincinnati. Where are you at in the Midwest?
Detroit.
Nice.
So you guys have
infrastructure there.
So you might be at the same grip house, the Midwest Grip and Light guys.
Yeah.
They got a Detroit shop.
They own Detroit or bought Detroit Power and Light. Yeah.
They. So I used to go there all the time, like 4 or 5 years ago, as a PA, just picking up gear, and then just over time I started to learn some of that gear, and then I'd say 3 years ago, I got hired as a PA onto a Travel Channel show, and they started asking me certain questions. What do you know? And I started sharing my knowledge with them. Their camera team started trusting me with a lot of their gear. So I ran around in a cargo van, sleeping in tech rooms and helping them out because that's always fun. And it just kind of started catching on to different things that I would start learning. Like I bought a book called the Technician's Lighting Handbook.
Oh yeah, that's
from
must-have.
Harry Box.
Yeah.
Harry Box, which I'll be glad to do a review. Grip Tips covers Harry Box. That's going to be a beautiful episode there. I'm going to make sure that this just turns very blue for your listeners.
That's amazing.
Perfect.
That's great. So do you know any of the you guys? You know any of the same Grip and Light guys we know, like or Bernie and those guys?
Oh yeah, but Bernie, I've never worked with Bernie, but he's got a similar thing going on. As far as his Bernie's Apple Box and teaching grip and electric. There's also Greg Flores, who's got the Grip Rigs or gripsupport.com, but I think Grip Rigs is his Facebook side of things. But both of those guys, we've actually somewhat been talking here and there. Me and Greg, eventually we want to do like a couple of episodes where we collaborate. A couple of those guys really want me to come out to LA and do an episode out there with them.
Sweet.
You absolutely should.
There's also...
Of course. We always try.
You guys know,
whenever we travel, we always try to collaborate with people, so we highly encourage that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I know that one of the episodes that I want to do for a collaboration is with my buddy Wade Quartz. He's with Scene Snipers. He helped me with my Not episodes. Yeah. Dude, if you meet Wade, he's like a 7'1" dude, nicest dude in the world, and he's been asking me to come out and work with the Scene Snipers to do a car rigging episode. So I think we're slowly working up to that point.
That's cool.
That would be super beneficial for a lot of people. We actually, speaking of collaborations and people providing service to the Grip and Electric, our next episode we have Luke Searveld of Meet the Gaffer.
Yeah.
And we just want to pass on a little message from him to you. He thinks you're doing a great thing, loves your show, likes how you keep it fun, and says keep it up.
Yeah. I like his show too.
Did you know we've got cool partners. We're doing a giveaway with Matthews, so that's kind of relevant to your world. They're giving away some. They're giving away some C stands.
There's something similar on your show, huh?
Very similar. I do giveaways.
That's awesome.
What do you got given away right now on your show?
Currently, I'm giving away a Mathellini and a Cardellini.
Ooh.
Wow, this is great. How do people enter? People are about to get a double whammy right now. So, how do people enter? And then, obviously, feel free to tell your peeps about the giveaway here as well with FDB, and we'll try to spread the love.
Yeah, definitely. So all you have to do for me is you have to be a subscriber to my channel. Then you repost the Cardellini Mathellini episode inside of Facebook or Twitter with the hashtag Grippellini giveaway. And then that's pretty much it, except for Patreon. For Patreon or patron members, I don't know if you guys know what Patreon is or not.
Where you can pay for
those guys are
premiere content stuff.
Right. Those guys who support my channel.
Content.
It's all premiere.
We have no premiere content. So
what do they get if they're a
those guys
member?
just are. They don't even have to be a subscriber if they don't want to be. They can just, if they're paying for anything on my Patreon, they're always going to be in every giveaway that or at least in the drawing. Yeah, they're automatically setting, because that's just kind of my own thank you to them.
Cool. So how do people find your thing again? What's all your social media connections?
They just have to, when they go to my YouTube channel, they'll look up the episode 6 Cardellinis and Mathellinis. They'll copy the link to that, put it to their Facebook or their Twitter, then they'll type the hashtag Grippellini giveaway. Cool. And I explained it in the episode too. So.
And what is your YouTube handle? Like, how do people find? What's the easiest way to find you?
I've tried to have that link for YouTube. It's like after you reach a certain amount, you can actually change the URL.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, YouTube's not letting me do that right now, and I don't understand why. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
Sorry, should they just search for grip rigs? Is that probably the best? Right?
Grip tips.
Grip tips.
They should probably.
Not grip rigs. They should search for that too, but then go to grip tips.
Yeah. Honestly, the best way is probably just to either Google or go into the YouTube search bar, just put grip tips Dave Donaldson, and it'll pop up.
Well, I'm sure they'll find you. They'll figure it out.
Well, we'll put a link to on our stuff too.
So
send them in the right direction.
So I want to jump into some of the core format of the FDB podcast show. So the core format, we got 3 questions. First question: what are you watching, man?
Oh man, as much as I hate reality TV, I'm watching a show on the History Channel called Alone.
Okay.
Alone.
Like, is that like a Naked and Afraid sort of thing?
Yeah, but they have their clothes, and it's basically they got like 10 people on an island. They all get to have 10 items, and it's basically kind of last man standing. Takes home like $500,000.
So 9 die?
I've been into that.
Wow. It sounds like, what's the Running Man from Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Last guy standing.
Yeah,
that's cool. So
they sit there and they have like a tap out button type thing, and
gotcha.
But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So are you into like survival and that sort of thing? Do you think you could do well on that show?
I don't know.
He's a great.
I'm wondering though, like me and my my roommate had been talking about that, and he's like, we're talking about the 10 things we would bring, And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, well, let me see, a C stand. I'd probably bring... like just doing a lone episode. I've got all my grip gear with me. Everybody's got backpacks. I got a truck, I guess.
But yeah, grip gear though can second forever. You can build shelter with it. You could use it as a weapon. You can use a C stand would be awesome. You could use it for like everything. You could use it to create
just
a
swing
a
a gobo arm at a panther.
Pole, a freaking
You could
spear.
sharpen it and use it as a sword.
Yeah.
Everybody, why have we not? I haven't seen a sword on that show yet, and I'd like to see the guy who comes out there with a sword.
Yeah,
but there's always
fighting
somebody
off
on those shows.
panthers.
There's always somebody on those shows who are like, I just need my trusty Bible, or something like that is like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
You're
only
completely not going to help them.
Yeah, like it can help you start fires.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh my God. Wait.
It's a fun show to watch, but.
We got a tip. We got an insider tip that you worked on a movie that Brandon's gonna hate. That also shot in Cleveland, a portion of it. And I have a feeling that you probably watched that to tie it into this segment. Did you work on the Avengers?
I did.
Oh,
for
man.
a day.
Yes.
Let's break this down though. How did you feel about it? Was it a little guilty? Did you feel like it was a little like, you know what I mean? Maybe it was you're a little bit wrong and you didn't really want to be there.
I mean, I never want to travel 3.5 hours away for $150 for the day.
Yeah.
I never want to do that, but it's whatever. At the time I was sitting there kind of trying to build up the resume just a little bit more, and there's actually a funny story about that, and he's going to be so pissed that I'm explaining this. But so I get the gig for Avengers, and my other buddy wanted to get on as well, and so I said, okay, cool, I'll come and pick you up at this time and we'll drive out there. So he calls me the morning of at like 3:30, and I think we had planned it so that we were going to start leaving at like 6:30 in the morning from over here. He leaves a message and he goes, hey, so I went to the bar last night and I won tickets to go see oh man, what's her name? Kesha. That's what it was.
Yes.
Kesha.
So he goes. So since I don't win things often, I'm going to go see Kesha, and not go work the Avengers. And I went,
hell yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'm yelling timber or whatever his name is.
Oh my God.
Kesha's awesome, dude.
So I had to go to set, and like I was trying to call. What's the second AD's name? He did Transformers too. I can't remember. I tried to go to him and I'm like, hey dude, so this happened. He goes, really? And I go, yeah, he wanted to go see Kesha, and this was not too long ago, and he's got a couple years on me, so it's like you're a grown ass man who can go work on Avengers, and you went and saw Kesha.
I'm gonna say I think he won.
No,
because I feel like I'm taking Kesha.
Come on.
I'm taking Kesha over any superhero related anything.
We have to explain this. So our listeners know that Brandon absolutely despises anything superhero related. But based on your reaction, I think I already know. But I want to get a firm answer on where you stand.
We need a yes or no. And let me clarify.
Yeah.
My stance is not solely as a hater. It's a philosophical a place of a disposition towards a film genre that undermines all intellect of humanity.
And also as a hater. What? So it's a simple question. Do you like or dislike superhero films?
Are you in or out? It's a yes or a no. There's no in between. Now's not the time to be lukewarm.
Sure. No. No, I do like him. I do like him. Yeah,
Team
I do.
Superhero.
Team Alex
nice.
is...
Team superhero.
Yeah, dude, our ranks are growing.
Put your tights on and
our
get your
numbers
capes ready.
are climbing.
Way to go.
That's how I sleep.
Oh my God. Wait, so you said, you brought up something in that story that I wanted to... So you said you live in Detroit and you had to drive 3.5 hours?
I think that's how far it is to Cincinnati. I'm not.
Oh, you came
somewhere
to
around
Cleveland.
there.
You came. Oh, you worked on it in Cleveland.
No,
okay.
no. I thought you said did you come to Cincinnati or Cleveland? Because they shot here too.
They shot in Cleveland. They didn't.
Oh,
shoot
it's
in
Cleveland.
Cincinnati. Yeah,
Cleveland.
I thought
That's what
they
it
shot
was.
at the airport.
No. They
No,
shot.
this was the scene that I was there for was when was it Loki is having everybody take a knee and then Iron Man comes from out of the sky.
Yep.
Playing AC/DC or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that scene.
The new one. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Classic.
Well, wait, I thought you said you hated it, but why you?
Classic scene.
Am I talking to the wrong person?
He's being a sarcastic hater. He's been a hater right now.
Ass.
Man. All right, so let's throw in a little bit of executional fun.
Sure.
So you're on set at Avengers or whatever, a local commercial, whatever. Common do's or don'ts. Let's take a moment and give the listeners a couple key takeaways. It's almost like we're gonna all of a sudden transition to your show. A couple do's and don'ts of the grip world.
Oh.
It is now Grip Tips with Bourbon.
It is now Grip Tips with Bourbon. Your key.
You want me to do the intro?
Yes.
I'm Dave Donaldson. We're back. Welcome to Grip Tips with Bourbon.
Yes.
Today.
So we need a couple. What are some of the common do's and don'ts? These are for the newbies. Help them out so they don't look like an idiot on set.
Your first day as a grip.
First day, do's and don'ts.
Yep.
First day as a grip. If you don't know, ask.
Nice. That
I
was
would say
good.
would be the first thing. Second thing is if it's electric and you've never worked with electric, don't touch it.
All right. These are good practical tips. These are tips you need on the island to survive.
Grip tips, practical tips is don't touch it. That's great.
Yeah. You don't know, don't touch it.
Yeah, this is all also applicable if you're hoping to get on the Alone and Afraid show or the Alone show. What else you got?
Be confident in what you're doing. There's people that you'll sit there like if I ask you to open up a C-stand or whatever, maybe it don't take 10 minutes to open it up. I guess it kind of goes back to if you don't know, ask. But it's too often that I see that too. It's just like you can tell who's nervous about working their first day and who's not.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of sense that a little bit. So just be confident in what you're doing. Even if it's your first gig, be honest with whoever it is that hired you and just be like, this is going to be my first gig. And I might need a little bit of help out there, but I do know the majority of things type of thing. And just be confident in what you're doing. You're there to learn, but you're also there to make money and have fun. So
That's great.
So maybe that's my third one. Have fun.
Yeah, that's really good. So I'm gonna get into maybe a more. I'm gonna ask you a specific question. Hopefully you can help me understand because I'm on the other side. If things are going well, I'm sitting in a chair drinking a coffee, and pointing at something and answering somebody's question and pretending to be a director. If I'm doing my job right. So I have a question.
Okay.
What the hell is the difference between a wall spreader and a tube stretcher? And why do I care?
There's not. Well, here's why you care. Because one obviously has a 2x4 involved. One has a speed rail or extruded aluminum pipe, I should say. But one of the things that they have out west is actually a tube stretcher that you can telescope with, and I've never played with it, but it's to my understanding that it's basically 1.5 and 1 1/4 pipe that telescope out of each other, and that's nice to have because you don't have to cut lumber. Where if you're going to go with the wall spreader, you kind of have to have that exact measurement down. Or if you cut it wrong and you don't have enough, well, then you kind of screwed yourself, and the chances are you probably don't have like a bunch of 2x4s sitting there on set. Unless you have like a prop maker, kind of construction department, you probably don't have that available to you. So having a tube stretcher is better because you'll have usually an assortment of speed rails that you can work with from all different sizes.
So but as a filmmaker, why do I care? What's that going to do for me?
Oh, well,
if
you're
what would be
lighting
the thing
stuff,
I'm asking for where you're like, oh, we need a tube stretcher for that?
if you were to say, let's say, I mean, if you're the director and you want to do one of those kind of lock-off shot, or not lock-off, but one of those shots that's like
see everywhere,
like Birdman, where you got to go, you can see everywhere, and you're dipping through in and out of every little room or whatever. Well, yeah, you could use a tube stretcher, and you could kind of hide all the lights above, versus or any type of rigging. You know, there was a question that that was in the Grip and Electric forums a while back, and I thought to myself that this is where I would use it, which is somebody wanted to have a locked-off camera directly above a bed in a bedroom scene where the couple are just sitting there and they're talking to each other, but they want to see the entire room. So my train of thought immediately went to, okay, well, then I would probably use a tube stretcher or wall spreader and try and rig the camera overhead with a wide angle lens, and that should take care of it, because you're putting pressure above the bed. You know, everything is off the ground. You can see the entire world. So I would say that it basically, whenever you want to see the entire world on an interior, then that's probably when you would use it.
Yeah.
Great.
Or I'll take it even exterior. You can go down an alley.
Totally.
You know, if there's like an alley that's just long enough, you can rig some lights overhead. So
that makes sense.
And this is the type of content that people get with your show.
Yeah,
this is great.
See, and with that,
see that? You see how I set that up?
It's perfect.
I set up a realistic scenario that solved my problem, and the listeners now are going, "Wow,
Here.
I need to tune into this show."
Let me show you my notes that I took. Oh my God! No,
it's just
great.
like a stick man, isn't it? It's
it was a blank whiteboard.
He didn't think my setup was that great.
I think you're a genius. Yeah, I think you're an absolute genius. Okay, but in that same vein,
yes,
that was a pretty complex issue.
Yeah,
would you say that maybe was the most challenging aspect that you've tackled on the show, or is there something? Do you have a specific example of something just crazy challenging that you've got?
Yeah, what's the craziest thing anyone's
it's
ever
be,
asked about?
You know, I get the same requests all the time, which is build a menace arm, build a goalpost rig, do car rigging. And those are great. And I would love to do those right now. But the problem with doing those, in my opinion, is that I'm trying to keep the episode short to 3.5 ish, unless I have to.
Sure.
But if I were to just do a menace arm rig right now, and let's say I never showed what a mambo combo is, or a ratchet strap, or speed rail, or even the rigging for the menace arm, then I'm going to get a lot of questions later that's kind of like, well, what you were saying this term, but you didn't really explain what it is.
Yeah, you got to build.
So I'm trying to get all these. Yeah, I feel like I got to get all these fundamental kind of things out of the way before we get more complex. But I do have an episode that I want to do, which is something I've never touched, but I'd like to do some more electric stuff inside of my episodes. And it's going to be a very pricey episode, but I would love to show an 18K on a Condor, and everything that goes into that. You know, just lighting up a street.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The big guns.
But that episode alone is probably going to cost about $5,000, and I don't have that yet.
Just reach out to Bernie. Just be like, "Here's what I want to do."
Yeah, for sure. So I've got a question. How would you do this? If I said, "Hey, man, I need you to set me up a bourbon jammer."
A bourbon jammer?
How would you approach that?
I would grab what's known as a butt plug.
See, now we're getting into the circle terms.
I don't know what the hell that is. I'll be quite honest.
A butt plug is a
bourbon.
No.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Whenever we're on set, so I always, I know that Grip and Electric has all these terms, and so I think it's fun to play with. So I always throw stuff out. So when I'm on set, I'll look to one of the guys or Alex, and I'll be like, "Hey, man, can you fly me a scooter on the windjammer?" And I'll just make stuff up. And what's always funny is the guys are the best, because they're like, "Oh yeah, I can do that." And then some of them will reply and they'll be like, "You want that swinging high or low?" They'll play in. So I've gotten to the point where I feel like I can say anything, and somehow Grip and Electric will kind of
something will happen.
They'll kind of understand, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I can do that," and they kind of everything's always better.
That can also
it's great.
Yeah, that can also some guy, and this has actually happened to me, but I was there for maybe 3 hours, so I don't really remember who the name was or what the project name was or any of that, but it was like really, really early in my career. But some of the guys in the forums were talking about it, and I think what they call like ghost stories type things, but it's basically you get a guy who's green on your crew, and he'll come in and you'll say something to him like, hey, can you go to the truck and grab me the HMI fluid?
Yeah. The headlamp fluid.
And so they'll go, yeah, and he'll go, and that guy will look all over that truck, and he'll be like, where the hell is this like HMI fluid? And
did that happen to
the
you?
reason that some of those guys do it, what was the thing that somebody asked me for?
Bag of F-stops?
No, that's a good one too, though. No, what was mine?
That's a camera one.
Well, because I didn't realize that they had, what was that term that... This was like 9 years ago, so I don't really remember. But I remember like going to the truck, spending 20 minutes in there, and then eventually I was sent off to do something else. So I just like 86'd it in my own brain. I'm like, okay, well.
That's awesome.
So it's like sending
but the reason they
somebody
do
for
that,
a snipe hunt.
Yeah. Doesn't exist.
Exactly. It's one of those, you send them out there to the truck, and the reason they do that is so that they can learn the truck inside and out. And by the time they get back, they'll usually say, yeah, there's no such thing. But
that also
now
goes
that
back.
When I ask for something, you know where everything is.
Yeah, that goes back to your original thing. Like, if you don't know, ask. So if somebody says, get me the HMI fluid, and you go, what the hell is that, and where might it be located? That's actually like, you're like, oh, okay, good. Thanks for, actually speaking up.
Right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's important.
Oh my God! What? I got a question. Going back to your early days as well. What was your first grip electric job?
My first grip and electric job was probably, and I didn't, you guys probably know, being in the Midwest, that it's like you get hired as a PA, they'll work you as grip and electric.
Yeah.
So it was one of those types of situations.
Gotcha.
Was an independent film called Ocean of Pearls. I never even saw it. I don't even know if it actually made it out, but it was just kind of some basic things that I was grabbing out of the back of a truck. It was very low budget. I think I grabbed like some regular tungsten lights, some C-stands, some stingers and sandbags, but that was probably the only thing I was doing. But that was, I guess that I would consider my first grip and electric job.
Nice.
They didn't have me running out for lunch or coffee or crafty, so I would assume.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's cool.
And that inspired you to kind of take it further, right?
So here's a question I have. Are you like grip for life, or like are you trying to build on that and then become like a DP or a director or whatever? Like, I think a lot of people, there's two types of people I think in the industry from my experience. There's the people who do what they do because that's who they are and that's what they love. And then there's the people who are always doing something to get to the thing that they want to do. So, for me, I love working with a director of photography who wants to be a director of photography. Working with a DP who really just wants to be a director is the worst. So
I've got this project I'm looking to direct.
So anyway, what about you? What about you? Have you really found your place and it's those are your people and that is your world, or like do you have other things you're trying to do?
There's like many things that I'm trying to do. As far as the actual, I kind of went up in this industry just thinking to myself, like, I have no problem being delegated to. That's kind of where I wanted to stand. I didn't see myself as trying to be like a director of photography or a director, but for some reason, every year there's always something that pops up that kind of pushes me more closer and closer to one of those positions. And it's weird, but I'm starting to kind of accept that, that's not bad either though. Like me, I think that when I delegate something, I'm kind of an ass. and I don't mean it that way. It's just like the way that I talk.
Direct.
It doesn't sound, it's very direct. It's just like, hey, go grab me a C-stand. As opposed to like some people might delegate in a different way. They might be like, hey, do me a favor. Will you go grab that C-stand over here?
Yeah.
And bring it,
preempt
kind
it
of
with
thing.
a
And it's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's just like it's coming closer and closer for, I think, a couple of reasons. It's like I'm starting to learn a lot more about camera. Last year, half of my life was just being an AC. And then, there's all this grip and electric stuff that I learned as well. And it's kind of like, well, maybe I should be mashing these up together So I would assume that eventually, once I get to a point where I'm always considered being a key grip and gaffer and a camera operator, I would imagine that the only step up from there would be to be a DP.
Well, let's wait a second. I don't think being a DP is ever a step up.
Why, thank you.
I think it's always... No, I'm just kidding. Speaking of, though, let's put you in the hot seat. If you had to choose today,
okay,
you had to make a decision today, and tomorrow your life changes, DP or director?
Director.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, there was no hesitation. So that tells me that you really like the process, the big picture, the story, and sort of the overview, and which I would say that I think it's, the fact that you've learned everything from the ground up, and you would be at a high advantage because you're going to be able to use the language and communicate what you need to get what you need done.
Or you're like Brandon, just like yelling at people.
Yeah. To whereas I came up with the complete opposite, which is I still have no clue what I'm talking about. Somehow I finagled my way to get paid, and I try to.
I kind of feel like we all do that.
I try to put.
I kind of feel like we all do that.
I try to put on like a show, and it works a lot or enough that I am able to keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, I'm learning all these technical things that kind of put me close to that DP position. But I've been an actor for a long time. And I've also looked at different stories, and I've been able to, when I've been able to give somebody like a direction, even if it's just like me and my buddies just hanging out, making some sort of goofy whatever, I've been able to tell them like, hey, maybe try it like this a little bit. And 9 times out of 10, when they do something like that, it comes out great. So, and that's, I think, has the, with the couple of gigs that I've acted in or auditioned with, I feel like that's helped me kind of understand, like, okay, from this person's point of view, what are they thinking? And I can kind of take what I'm trying to pull out of them and kind of give it to them as like a gift, and then they can bring it to the camera kind of thing. And then on the other side, it's like I know that I could communicate with like a DP and say like, something like this, or, if I was looking at a frame inside of a monitor, I could sit there and go, I don't really like that. Can we put something over here that, and actually say something like, I'm just going to pull a term out of my ass, but like, maybe not this diffusion, but maybe we can do opal or something like that, and then the DP can sit there, and even though they're in control of that part of it, he can maybe just kind of toss an idea back at me and say, well, maybe we could try this instead or something like that. But that's all that kind of pre-production stuff with the DP.
Yeah.
And even on the day, you can do a little bit of that. But yeah, I'd probably want to go more the director route, just because, I don't know, there's something about that, there's something about when you get...
getting all the credit?
You can see everything. Yeah, sure. No, there's... like, you can see a lot of this stuff visually in your head. And it becomes a problem when you... I don't even know how to word this. Sure, you know what? I'm just going to leave it at getting all the credit.
No, I totally know what you mean. I totally know what you mean, because when I go into a project, typically I've already seen the final cut in my head.
Yeah.
And usually, if I can get my storyboard artist to translate some of that, it all of a sudden it starts to become a reality. And then once I'm on set, like, I might not be a genius at communicating the technical things, but usually, especially I work a lot with Alex, usually like I see the frame, and then I know, like, are we close or not? And usually, I look to him and I'm like, great, we're there, let's roll. Or I'm like, dude, we got to start over. This is like, I need something else. So
one specific example was that UC project where you came over and you're like, it looks too pretty.
He did this setup, man, and it looked so good. It looked like something from a Jean-Pierre Jeunet film, like Amélie. Like, it was just like, it was gorgeous.
But it was inappropriate.
It was gorgeous, but the whole spot we were doing was about like gritty and raw and real life and passion. And I was like, he lit it, and like I was just like, dude, this is
doesn't feel good.
I was like, it's too gorgeous, man. Like, you gotta like
dirty it up,
dirty this thing up, throw a little poop on it.
We dirtied it up. Yeah, so. We got it there.
Anyways, well, man, it's been fun talking to you. We gotta wrap things up here. I do need to know though, are you a bourbon drinker?
I am.
He's a grip, of course. He's a bourbon drinker.
So we've
that's-
actually had a review recently where they wished we'd spend a little more time on the bourbon that we're drinking. So
Who said that?
I don't know. That was
LOL Scott.
yeah, LOL Scott wants to hear more bourbon talk. So
That guy with the face.
Yeah, the guy with the thing. in the deal.
what kind of bourbon do you dig?
God, there's so many, and we actually have a whiskey wall here in my place.
nice.
I'm currently looking at it. You know what? Out of all these bottles that I'm looking at right now, one of my favorite things to drink is Macallan 12.
Ooh, I've had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a bourbon.
Irish
That's a
whiskey.
Scotch. That's an American.
No,
Scotch.
it's not. I'm just trying to. No, I know. I'm just trying to look around at.
Yeah, we did some
I have a lot of
we did
bourbon
some
on this wall.
social media for them.
A better, more simple way to. Are you sweet, spicy, savory, like a kind of general feel? Not so much brand related, but like palate.
I think my friends would call me a liar on this one, but I would go sweet.
Really?
And yeah,
Fireball
because
it is.
No, not that kind of sweet. Let's dial it back. Say I don't know, 90%. And just a little bit.
You like a Knob Creek?
Yeah.
Like Knob Creek. Yeah.
Okay.
Knob Creek or a This isn't.
Have you had Larceny?
Traverse
Have
City
you had
whiskey.
Larceny?
I have not.
I think you would
I
dig
am
that.
not.
Larceny's pretty good.
9 times out of 10, I'm pouring it into a glass, and I'm just like, hey, that looks good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I tell Brandon I haven't had a bad bourbon yet. I think
Yeah.
we both agree on it.
Do you know the difference between bourbon and non-bourbon?
Probably not. Give it to me.
There's only a couple things, and it's A, it has to be distilled in the United States. B, it has to
Okay.
be at least a 51% corn mash bill. If it's not 51%,
Well, in that case, I'm going to go moonshine.
yeah, if it's not 51%, it's not bourbon. And then the other thing is it has to be stored in a single oak charred barrel. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
It
so-
can't have previously been used before.
yeah, that's it. So bourbon can be made anywhere, including Detroit, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a lot of. We're more of a
D-town.
we're more of a beer state over here.
Sure.
We have so many IPAs that are coming out in every direction.
Yeah.
And they're all delicious.
That's all over the nation, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's make a disclaimer. You should never grip and drink.
No.
Well, you can grip.
I disagree with that, but no, I'm kidding.
You can grip and then drink.
Yes.
But never drink and grip.
No. The best way to combine
Just
gripping
sounds
and
way-
drinking is on the gate of the grip truck after wrap.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's actually, I saw something, I don't know how much time you guys have, but this is a really quick story,
Yeah.
is that one of the guys on their grip truck, they actually took their toolbox and they changed it out so that the top drawer was actually all these bourbons and whiskeys and a bunch of glasses or whatever. So when they were done at the end of wrap on the grip truck, it's like they opened it up and it's like really well done.
Nice.
It's a foam cutout that you use for, it's not pluck and peel foam, but it's actually perfectly cut out for the bottle that's supposed to fit there.
That's
and
awesome.
the glasses, and yeah, I want one.
That's great. That seems like something they would do. So
Make it and market it. Yeah.
Well, man, it's been a lot of fun talking and catching up. We want to encourage everybody to go check out your show and your stuff. You got some cool giveaways. Anything else you want to share with
You
us?
guys have one going on, don't you?
Yeah, we're giving away
Matthews 2C
Matthews,
stands.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah. So,
But yeah, final thoughts?
Anything else you want to say to the listeners? I mean,
No.
all right. Excellent. Cool. Well, guys, go out there, check it out. Grips and Tips.
Grip tips. Dave Donaldson.
And,
Search
Grips
my
and
YouTube, Google.
And
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun, man. And we would love to have you back on the show. And if you're ever in Cincinnati, stop by and we'll give you a holler if we're ever up in the Detroit.
Yeah, totally. Let's get some bourbon.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. Sure. Sounds good. All right,
Awesome,
man.
brother.
Well, cheers and have a wonderful, wonderful week.
You too.
All right, see you, man.
Peace.
Bye.
Awesome.
Great show.
Dude, there's some nuggets
Just a
in there.
nice little chat. So that's what I love
Good
about
nuggets.
this podcast is, you know, There's nothing fancy we were doing. Just having a good chat with a grip guy, and that's what
Or a
this
grip
is
chat
about.
with a good guy.
Yeah, this is
either
that's
one.
What this whole thing is about. It's about shooting.
I was going to listen to the whole
shit,
thing. I just got hung up on you
sitting
bastards.
around fireside
All right.
chatting it up with the grips and the tips.
Shooting the shit and sipping the stuff.
Yes.
That's all it's about.
So
It's the tagline, I think.
yeah. So anyway,
No, he was good.
That was a lot of fun.
But yes, everybody go to YouTube, search for Grip Tips, Dave Donaldson. Learn what it takes to be a grip. We need more in the Midwest, especially.
Yeah,
we're getting all these movies. We don't have enough capacity crew-wise to deal with it. So I encourage, if you're interested in, especially if you want to be a DP, you want to be a director, like Brandon was saying, knowing the basics and working your way up always helps. Go into grip.
Yeah. And if you're listening, we are still trying to get as many reviews as possible. We're getting closer to our goal of 100. Go to iTunes, give us a review and rating. I did want to share this. This was the post I was talking about with the bourbon by LOL Scott. He says, great chemistry among the hosts. A lot of good information for the audience. Wish they would give a few more minutes to the bourbon they are drinking. Great job, though. You know, I do want to address that.
Sure.
We started out where we thought every episode we were going to have a new bourbon.
And we tried, yeah.
And we tried. The problem is, folks, and maybe we need to start a Patreon,
Yeah, maybe.
exclusive Patreon members who want to support the show. But I don't know the last time you bought good bourbon, but I mean, we're talking, this is, $50 a bottle, $70 a bottle, $30 a bottle. We had some great partnerships with some bourbon brands that helped us out, for early on, but we don't have infinite supply of free bourbon. We don't have an infinite budget here. This is a niche podcast. We don't have huge money. So it's expensive. So that's why we've had to dial back the bourbon thing, and we haven't been able to be as hardcore about it. But we have had opportunities to bring on guests like the Master of Whiskey from Bullet.
Yeah.
And Four Roses. Those are, if you look in our archives, there's some great whiskey shows there. And I think Frank's working to bring in some more of that back to the table. But ultimately, from the get-go, this was always, 90% filmmaking, 10% bourbon. It's a fun little moment we can have in the show. So, but we do appreciate the feedback, and we will try to work that back into the show and make it a little more important. Obviously, when we're taping in the morning, we're usually not drinking bourbon.
Drinking coffee usually,
But anyway, we love your guys' feedback. Really appreciate it. And
and there's sometimes, I will throw this out there, sometimes we do drink bourbon. It's just not of high enough quality to even really talk about. It's just,
or it's
bottom
just,
shelf stuff.
Sure.
But maybe we should. Maybe it's more interesting.
Maybe we should. Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Cool.
All right, cool. Well, it's been a lot of fun. We will check you guys out on the next episode.
Well, hold on.
Never mind.
Before we go, we got to throw it out one more time.
We're not going anywhere.
Be sure to enter the Matthews giveaway.
Yeah. Why haven't you entered already?
We're a week in. You've
been listening to this for 50 minutes and you have not entered. What's wrong with you? This is a C-stand. We talked about on the show. If you're if you're needing to survive on an island, you need a C-stand.
You do. What do they got to do to enter?
It's easy. All you got to do is you got to go to the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. You want to connect with @FDV Podcast. You want to connect with @Matthews Grip. Use the hashtag FDB giveaway.
That'll do it.
I liked how he posted the show. We should have them post our show.
We should.
Post the SoundCloud link. That would be brilliant.
Well, that's what they do. You got to share the episode with the hashtag. It's part of it now.
Oh, sorry.
Part of it.
Frank, what a great guy.
Share the episode.
You got to share the episode. So get the embed code from SoundCloud or share a link from iTunes.
Well, we always post it.
Whatever you want to do.
Just grab it from us.
Just copy it.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste.
Control-C, Control-V. Anyway. Good episode.
All right. Hey, it's been real. I like this. We're in these comfy chairs today.
Well, dude, we got to upgrade it.
We have tissues, though. This is a little weird.
Well, it's in case I start crying.
All right.
I get emotional sometimes talking about grip gear.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it, and we'll catch you later. We're getting close to 100 episode.
Cheers.
Cheers. This podcast was recorded live at Sound Images Studio. Find out more at soundimages.com.